Hello everyone and welcome back to the PR test server. We are now looking at the Kaiju, the new 11 energy cannon that has released with the Syndicate Battlepass. If you have not seen my reviews of the other weapons yet, I suggest that you go check those out as well, and you can find a list with all of those videos on my channel. So the Kaiju is the 11 energy pulse cannon that you will be unlocking at level 50 with the Syndicate Battle Pass. The cannon has a rather huge model, 4,400 power score, and weighs just under 2k tons, 2k kilograms, and has just about 1,200 durability. It is a rather huge model with a somewhat slow turning radius, and it's capable of rotating 360 degrees around your build. The weapon perk is if all projectiles of a fully charged weapon hits the enemy, then the damage of the next burst will be 125% of the default. This does not mean that you have to hit the same enemy twice, but if I hit any enemy with a full burst, then the damage of the following burst with the weapon will be 125%. Now we just shot that pole there for the first shot, so we didn't get the bonus. Apparently I'm just a massive failure at this, but here we go. So a full burst into the cabin of this one. You see we now have the perk on the weapon, and if I shoot over here now, we will see that we're hitting for just a little over 1,000. The base damage of this weapon is 850. We're just gonna go out into the test circle here, because then we can also determine what each bullet deals damage wise. So we're gonna charge up the shot fully here, and then we're gonna shoot the damage meter. There we go, 825, and the first shot was 55 damage. If we then shoot again with our beta burst this time, then we'll see that we now hit for 1,031 damage. This equals to the 125% of the default. The only stat on the Kaiju that is not maxed out is the range. So let's go determine how much range this weapon has. I don't find it necessary to test the 50 meters because I'm quite sure that we are way beyond that, but let's see if we can hit the target 150 meters away. We can indeed. The recoil did knock up our weapon though, so you have to compensate for the weapon as you are shooting this. Further down the range, we have a target that is 200 meters away. And that was an easy hit too. And then finally we have a target 300 meters away, which we are also able to hit. So despite this thing having supposedly not a lot of range, if you judge from the stats there, then this will easily snipe 300 meters. I wonder what happens if we go just a little bit further. I think we're around 50 kilometers extra back now. We are still connecting shots, so maybe if we just reverse some more, then that'll equal around 100, and we're still hitting. So now in order to fully see the range potential of this weapon, we're gonna go into the crater map here, because we got plenty of range for targets right here. So we have some bots coming in down there. Let's just see. Okay, so we're easily sniping those guys. And that's a good, what, 400-500 meters or something like that. Oh, that's actually quite scary. Can't really tell for sure if we're connecting all the way over there. We definitely are. We definitely hit that bit over there. So, I mean, even though it says that the range is not full on this thing, judging by the range potential of this thing, it most certainly looks like we have the range that we need in order to be effective no matter where we are. This weapon does not as such seem like it has any sort of damage drop-off. So having established that, the range stat is kind of, I don't know if it's just showing off or if the game is not supposed to have this much range, but we'll see tomorrow when the weapon releases, and we might know more as we are on the live service soon. Moving on, the Kaiju is a pulse cannon. So will it be affected by the 5% damage increase from Jade? Let's find out about that. Once again, over to the damage meter here. We're going to charge the weapon fully. And we get 825 damage. Now this likewise also means that if we were to put a quantum on here, we won't get any damage either. Now this is basically because the Kaiju is not energy based, even though it could look like it is energy based. It simply just shoots projectiles at a very high speed. That is usually what a pulse cannon does in real life at least. Now since the Kaiju is a reload weapon, it is going to be affected by the echo. We want to establish whether the charging bit will be affected by the echo or if it's only the reloading bit. So we're going to shoot it first. So first we're going to test if the charging is affected by the echo. And then next up, we want to compare reloading times. The Kaiju has a charging mechanism with a few different modes that you can utilize the weapon with. First of all, the longer you hold down the weapon, the more of the coils will charge up and the more projectiles you will shoot, up to a total of, I think, 8 or 10 shots. You will have to charge it a minimum of around 20% before you shoot, and that will let out a burst of just 3 shots. This is the minimum, so in case we just click, the weapon will never fully charge. The more you charge the weapon, the more precision you will also get as you shoot. If you choose to charge the weapon 100%, then you also get 100% precision. If you're moving while you're charging the weapon is so big and so powerful that it will drain the power of your vehicle. Here we go, we can move no more than 40. And usually this vehicle would be able to go just a little below 100. Regarding the speed limit, 40 is a hard cap that you will be reduced to whenever you're using the weapon. So if you run a slow build, the penalty will be less severe, and if you run a big build, the penalty will be more noticeable. Note how this truck has a maximum speed of 65, but when I fully charge up the Kaiju here, our speed starts declining again, and once we hit 40, it stops. So 40 is a hard cap, no matter how fast or powerful your build is prior to using the weapon. The Kaiju is a reload-based weapon, so modules like the power unit and likewise will not buff the Kaiju. This means that the only things you can use to buff the Kaiju is for the engine, either a Colossus or an Oppressor, and for cabins, the ones that you can use in here is, well, basically all of the cabins that will buff weapon reloads or damage from your enemies being close, like the Howl, or you could use the Echo to reduce the reloading time, or the Omnibox to reduce the reloading time. And lastly, we want to test if the weapon has any armor penetrating capabilities. So behind this train plow here, we hit an Ampere. And as you can see there, it does not have any armor penetrating capabilities. The train plow fell off, and then afterwards we blew up the Ampere. And that concludes our Kaiju test. If there's anything I missed or anything you would like to know, please don't hesitate to ask questions down below. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't done it already, and like this video. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.